Okay, good morning, Merry Christmas. Welcome to the final edition of Bead Maker and Coffee with Sydney and friends. And maybe more than one friend sliding in and out as we have pets running everywhere at Christmas time. Our special guest today is Josh Pierce, none other than coming live from his new studio. Looks good.
That looks really good.
Guys.
I love it. Love it. And you're very festive.
Yes.
Yep. Got to roll with Christmas stuff.
I love it. I love it. I chose the bowl game attire today because I'm trying to throw it out in the universe. And I know Josh has a Boise State sweatshirt he's going to wear, or t-shirt he's going to wear on the game day too.
I'll be rooting for Boise State.
Yes.
Yep. I will be rooting for the Northwest contingent of Boise State and the University of Oregon this year. So
yes, I will be rooting for U of O too. I don't normally, but I really like their quarterback, and I think they've done a good job this year. So normally I don't root for them, but I will this year, unless we're in the final together.
Right, but that's kind of what you want is a rematch. Because
that'd be
week
amazing.
one rematch. I mean, that was
That'd
the
be amazing.
game of the year for both schools.
I would even take another loss to them. It would be amazing.
Yeah,
if it got that far.
Fun, so.
It would be awesome. It'd be awesome. So, what's everyone up to? I've had quite the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a mom and Christmas shopping. I have teenagers that are very expensive and very last minute. And it just gets more expensive as they get older. And so this weekend I did a lot of like freak out impulse buying and stuff, and so I'm just like, I just made my list of everything because I don't want to do anything tomorrow. I always save the stockings till the 24th. So this year I was like, I'm not doing that. And so I did a lot of it yesterday, but I have like 5 stops I have to make today right after we're done here, and then I just want to be like, I'm done. So it's been a little bit crazy, and I was super busy last week. So many cars. Many cars.
Well, you had lots going on last week.
I
officially start Christmas shopping in about 12 hours, so that'll go for the year. That's my tradition. So,
you do always wait till the 24th.
It's what I've always done. I know what I have to get them. I just got to go get it. So, how
about you, Josh?
We finished ours yesterday. We were done yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's impressive.
Did a Costco run at 10 o'clock yesterday morning, in and out in 34 minutes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I
nice.
saw that. So what did you do? Nice. Go in and get a bucket of cinnamon rolls and leave? What happened?
We had a list, and we just went at it. And
nice.
You pulled the old Santa and checked your list twice and got
that. People over with shopping carts the whole time. No one was.
I've never done Costco at Christmas time.
It's crazy.
Now I kind of want to do it just for the show because we're going to be right up next to it.
You got to do it, Sid. I will be there today. Actually, I got to get things for Christmas morning breakfast because we're only here for morning. Then we're leaving town for a week. So.
Oh my gosh, where are you going?
We're going. Well, we're doing our annual week away kind of vacation. So I coincided always with the PNS being closed. Not that I want to use the phone, but.
Right.
Yeah, so we liked Palm Springs a couple of years ago, so we're going to kind of repeat that, but we're going to start Vegas for a day or two because I want to do the drive through Death Valley. I've never taken Lisa down there, and I wanted to kind of see it. So
nice.
I'm the world traveler, but I forget she's home, holding on to the boat anchor, keeping this place together. So
yeah, very cool, very cool. What about you, Josh? You guys just stay home?
Yeah, we're closed tomorrow and Christmas Day, and we're just going to kind of chill at home.
Nice.
Do a little relaxing.
Yep, same. We're just going to lock the kids in, apparently. They slip away a lot lately. So I think we'll lock them in for 2 days. Make them hang out with us, watch movies.
Yeah, because Tristan used to be just the homebody kid, but now that he's got some wheels, you set him loose on the world. So
yeah. They sleep till like 3 p.m. and then at 4 they're like, so I'm going to go. And then we never see them again. So yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Yeah. And Delaney is home from college, but so are all her friends. So there went that.
Oh yeah, no, they're catching up. They got lost time to make up for. So yeah you will not see them at all.
Yeah. So we'll lock the doors starting tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Till after Christmas night, and then they can free range again. Look at that. Rehab for the win. Heck yes.
Yeah, we got Tom Oleski's on with us, and Sarah's on. It's awesome.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. Look at from the UK coming in strong.
Yeah.
Coming in strong. Well,
We got,
good morning, everyone, and Merry Christmas Eve, right?
Yes.
yeah, double
Like the
E.
eve of the eve. So we go to Chinese food on Christmas Eve.
Ooh, we did that yesterday.
Ooh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we always go. There's a place here that the food. Well, you guys, I think have. I know Keith
We
has
went
been
there
there.
for
The
the
food
first
is.
show one year.
Yeah, the food is mediocre, but the people watching is where it's at. I mean, the meltdowns that happen are just incredible. And I'm smart and always make a reservation, which they don't take, but I can get the girl to write me down. And so we just sit and watch the show. We could care less about the food.
Yeah.
It's so great. It's so great.
There's nothing better than people watching.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
So
it's too much.
we got Indiana in the house. Hey guys, sorry
Nice.
that Indiana lost, but then Indiana won because they played in the same game and it was Notre Dame. So there
Yeah.
you go. We're tying everything back to college football today, and if you don't like it, I'm sorry, tough.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
How can you not talk about it, right?
And another win for Indiana, by the way. Our latest, one of our distributors, Rusted Knuckles, is opening his store on January 9th. So
What a great name.
yeah, Rusted Knuckles. Yeah, awesome.
Really
So,
Love it.
he's been a great partner for us, and so, dude, congratulations on your store opening in about 2 weeks, which will be about the time of our next show. So that'll be awesome.
That's awesome. My hat's making my headphones go weird.
Hmm.
Josh Pierce is in the house.
What's up, Jeff?
And look, we've got Fat Joe and Smoky Joe.
Yeah, we got.
Have
we
they
got
ever
in
been
stereo.
seen together? I'm not sure they've ever been seen together.
I don't know.
There
Well,
was
in
one that
Monterey,
one was
I
sitting
guess,
on
but-
each side of the cabinets at the training center. I remember.
Yeah, they've been in a bus next to each other, but yeah, they each had their own bus
Yeah.
at Monterey. Well, very good. Well, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. Let's jump in. So should we start on what's your favorite product?
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to go first? I have mine
I'll take
dialed
it.
up and ready. Go for it.
Our big extended family Christmas last weekend with the in-laws and all that, and
Mhm.
Express interior wipes
Oh, yes.
came in really handy to clean stuff up.
Yes. Yes. They're so amazing. And I think I love that, like, I've known they were amazing, but I've been
Yeah.
seeing comments here and there online where people are like, oh, I use these I didn't think I'd use it for this or that. And I'm like, yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly, it's like, I think Joey Belinsky said, it's like the product you didn't know you needed. Right. And
Yeah.
they're so good. They're so good. I used it several times yesterday. Once on my Uggs, I spilled some stuff on my nice new Uggs and it cleaned it right up. Didn't leave any marks. It was so great. But man, just even around the house to like wipe stuff down. The other day I needed to wipe down the bathroom counters real quick because Tristan was bringing his girlfriend over. And I mean, I just grabbed one and wiped it up real quick, which I prefer to a bleach rag. So yeah, it was great. They're great. Freaking love them. And they're in stock everywhere now. Yay.
Yeah.
I think we're good on stock now.
They're selling crazy. I mean, I think
Yeah.
I've sold 4 cases in my store already.
Yeah, well, and that's the beauty of it is, when they first came out, we were like, okay, how much of a pushback is the size of the container going to be? And then I've started hearing from distributors, people are like, oh, now people don't care. Like the customers want them. They don't care, how big they are. Like they can just, and like I did that thing with the, Ziploc bag and stuff like that works so well, and so, yeah, they're stinking great. They're so good. So good. All right. So my product highlight is Stout. I think I did 4 coatings last week,
It's so good.
3 on customer cars and 1 for a video, which I did a Stout video on Friday, start to finish. And I can't wait for it to come out. It probably won't be out for about 2.5 months, but it went like results were bonkers. Like you're going to be able to see it through the television or whatever you're watching it on. It is absolutely amazing. But so I did 3 customers' cars last week. I did a really old car. I did a brand new, a brand new Range Rover long wheelbase.
Mhm.
And then I did a brand new matte white BMW 440i. Absolutely beautiful car. And so got to use it on last week. I used it on PPF, matte paint, plastic. I used it on old paint, lacquer paint. It was crazy. I used it on a tricolor paint. Like, so I used it on everything last week. And I mean, I think my favorite thing is like the 1 hour mark. You walk away for an hour and you go back and touch it, and it feels softer than silk sheets.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so I love it because I won't give away too much of the video, but there was people there who have felt just about every coating on the market. And they honestly said, like, I have felt every coating on the market. And honestly, that's like a whole different realm.
Yeah.
It's a whole different realm. And I love that. Like it's so good. It's so good.
And tell them the code.
Is it still going? So for those watching, we had a sale in the Bead Maker Lounge. So I'm assuming y'all are part of the Bead Maker Lounge, but if you're not, you're going to want to run over and join and tell your friends to join because we had an exclusive member sale in the Bead Maker Lounge for Stout. And the code is Stout25, and that will get you 25% off Stout. And you guys know we almost never run sales except for Black Friday, but we did this special for the Bead Maker Lounge members, and it was just kind of an end of the year give back. Thank you. You guys are amazing. And we're just really excited about Stout.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to get it in everyone's hands.
Yeah. Who wouldn't be? I mean, we had, we've had some classes and just the response has been tremendous. And, people are using it. And yes, it is only for this 50 milliliter bottle of Stout. So don't try and use a 30 ml bottle. Yep. And it's only on the PNS website. So you got to go there for the deal.
And does it only go through today?
Well, we extended it through today, but I'm sure I can be a web guy. We want to make it go a little longer. You know what? We're going to extend it to Christmas Eve shopping because that's
there you go. So right, in case you're a Keith, yeah. You know what? Buy yourself something real nice. Right. We are really excited about Stout. It is incredible. Yeah. So that's of course my product of the week, but I did use it so much last week and it was so fun. Love it. Love it.
You guys kind of took mine. I don't know what to say, but the old standby for me is I actually was cleaning up the shop this weekend, which I have not done since the Squatcha Q. So what's that been, 6 months? And I had a bottle of the Shamrock Green paint gloss.
Oh yeah.
I don't care what color or flavor you got a paint gloss. Paint gloss is just the magic cleanup dust. So I like to say it's our Swiss Army knife, and I was wiping down everything from tractors to polisher stands to the all my benches and stuff, and just a great product. So super versatile. That's the most car cleaning I got done was wiping the tractor down. So
nice. Well, hey, that's important too. Tractors matter.
Yep. So awesome. Shout out to Hans. Hans is with us from Europe, and I always appreciate it when she.
Yes. So Merry Christmas, Hans.
We're throwing them up there as the good mornings and all, but we're not kind of going through all of them by name. No offense to anybody. We want to definitely highlight the questions, but Hans is a longtime listener, so we wanted to say hi to him. So.
Yep. And yes, the UK coming in strong. We appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah.
It is not quite as early there as it is here.
Yeah.
Keith, you're the earliest.
I know. It's why it still looks like I'm in the dark because
it's still pitch black here. I can't see anything.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, the longest day of the year was just 2 days ago. So everything from this point forward is going to get lighter and brighter. So
thank goodness. Bring back the 9:30 sunset.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking
4:30 darkness sucks.
Yes. Yeah, we could get rid of daylight savings if it were up to me. Let's fix some old problems today on the last day of the year show. So
and then we have our favorite Canadian, Alex Dewar, in the house. Thanks for waking up, Alex.
Yeah.
All right. Travis says, being wintertime, I use the local car wash more often. Is it okay to just mix soap and water in a pump sprayer to pre-treat frostbite or pearl? So I wonder if he means the pay and spray.
I think so.
Sounds and I would say frostbite would be the one to use for that.
Yeah, so I have a lot of customers go to Pay and Sprays, and I just have them. We've arranged them little packets to keep in their car of different things, and so yes, they'll use their own products and then use obviously the sprayer, right? And let all the dirt and mud go down their drains. So you can absolutely, the other thing you can do is if you take like usually my customers take like a bucket and they have soap in there and they just fill up their own bucket and wash like normal. They're only using the hose, but you can absolutely do a pre-mix. The only thing I would warn against here is you wouldn't want to leave it sitting in the sprayer because as soap sits in water, it definitely decreases over time. So you would have to mix up a fresh batch every time you went to the car wash. So just keep that in mind. Don't mix more than what you think you might need. Because that's the only thing is you don't want to store pre-mixed soap diluted in an IK sprayer. It just will eventually lose its efficacy, and you don't want to think that you have all the safety net and lubrication that you may not.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would think as a pre-spray, Frostbite's probably your best choice. It's
Yeah.
just a little more bite to it.
Yep.
I think you're perfectly fine to do that. So
Yeah. Yep.
And what do they always say? Just don't use the brush at the spray.
Just don't use the brush. Don't ever use the brush.
Okay, we'll stop picking on car washes now.
All right, Amber, good morning and happy holidays. I'm using Clarity Cream on my windshield to prepare for a coating, heading up the snowy Mammoth after the holidays.
Nice.
Great
Clarity Cream. Yep, Clarity Cream's amazing. Love it.
Oh, and View is in stock, so if people are looking to get it.
Yeah. We've been out of that for a little bit, and it's back. Yay. Gary, yay, I made it. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Lots of people checking in. I see them. All right. Mike. Now, this is interesting. My express wipe issue is they rip off the roll too easy and break off before they even get pulled through the opening. That's really strange. I've never had that happen. But, Mike, what I would suggest is maybe either pressing those little, you might have just a cap that has a little too tight of those little wedges. So I would either push them down or push them up, just like loosen the little, wedges a little bit, because I have not seen or heard of that happening. So, when you have plastic like that gets punched once in a while, one is a little bit wonky. So you must have one that's just a little too tight because they should break off. Mine all have all, they rip off perfect. So just check your little top and see if you can adjust it. And if that doesn't make it better, and if it doesn't, let us know and we'll get you out a new one.
Yeah, and make sure you're grabbing from the center. I had someone that was grabbing from the end, and it was not working well.
Yeah, if you pull on the out.
Where you start it, yeah.
It doesn't unwind. Yep. And in the center, it takes the first 5 or 10 to get through the resistance. But once you get into it, you're fine. So
good point, Josh. I did see somebody saying that they load them from the outside, and no, that puts too much tension on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, double check that too. That's a great point. Love the taupe.
I don't know. Gary, clarify.
Maybe he means raccoons. Justin says, good morning, family, and Merry Christmas, everyone. Josh is the man. Thank you for all your help. You are not kidding.
Yeah. Speaking of all the help, do you want to talk about your giveaway this week, Josh?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. We given away pretty much one of everything new we released this year, minus Reflect. Gave one away Saturday. I think Jeff Brooke was the winner.
Yep.
And we've got another one we're doing today, so make sure you're paying attention this morning.
Yeah.
One of the questions may have to do with something that we're talking about today.
Okay.
And if you've been a winner, you can't be a winner again, because we got to be a little democratic with this. You can coach, but you can't win. So there you go.
And I'll get those out probably Thursday or Friday. So.
Awesome. That's so cool. That's so nice of you. Josh is the man. He's like our hero.
Well, and he put them in P&S duffel bags, which I don't even think I've got a duffel bag. And I thought I had every piece of
I don't have a duffel bag.
Wow. Maybe we should enter to win.
We sell them on the website.
Wolf says, do you need a wheel-specific ceramic or will any ceramic work on wheels? Josh?
Inspiration is what you want, in my opinion. I love inspiration on wheels. Classic. Sorry.
Yes, classic. Yep. Yeah. Me too. So I never used Legend on wheels. Not because it wouldn't work. It just, with the leveling, it always made me a little bit nervous to leave spots on it.
Yeah.
I have used Stout. Stout works pretty well, but I agree. Classic, I think it's one of those things where it's just such a good coating and it goes on so easy, comes off so easy, and it really it lasts a long time. And it seems to handle the heat well, right? So that's really what you're looking for is a coating that doesn't, break down with high temperatures. And so, Classic does a great job on that. Now, as far as like as a whole, I do think that most coatings, if you're comfortable, you can put them on wheels. But for PNS specifically, I would say try Classic first. But if you don't have that and you're using Stout, Stout is great as well. My thing with Stout is just it takes a little bit more product.
Right.
It does take quite a bit of product because it's so thick. So, it could be a little bit more of a product investment on that side. So, either one of those are going to work great.
Yeah. And my only comment on wheels is the bulk of wheels today, if they're factory wheels, they're clear coated. So you're really working on clear coat. So as long as you've got them clean and set, you're good. If you're working on an aftermarket bare metal wheel, you may want to go on the inside of the barrel and do a test spot just to make sure you don't have a weird reaction. You should be pretty safe with Classic. And then powder coated wheels, hey, if they're factory, you're probably okay. If they're aftermarket, again, all bets are off. You want to do a test spot and be cautious. But if you got factory wheels on a regular car or even hubcaps, which are clear coat painted, you should be fine. So, yeah. I always throw the caveat out there. I'm the safety guy.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say too, because I have factory wheels that have been after the fact powder coated, right? And so they're powder coated with a matte clear. And to be honest, like I tried to coat them and I didn't really notice that it made that much a difference. But like on my wheels, what makes the biggest difference is Defender. I a lot of times just use Defender on wheels. It works great. So now I don't use that when I'm charging the customer to coat their wheels, but I put it on a lot of wheels. I really love Defender on wheels.
Well, it makes your job easier if the vehicle comes back to you regularly. It makes your job a heck of a lot easier to get off.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of times I'm putting it on for me. Yes. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Wolf says it's $14.47 in the UK. That's awesome. Right in the smack of the day.
Yep. For those not in the military, that's $2.45. So there you go.
Yes. Drew's Premier Detailing says, good morning.
Bob is judging us. Bob, you can't judge us, man. No judging.
I win.
Bob Phillips checking in, saying Josh wins the best. Josh wins everything, by the way. Josh wins everything.
Look, everything I win is
designed by Josh. Yep. I mean, and I think the reason that Fat Joe is such a big deal is actually because of Josh, right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, new introduction to the holiday program.
Oh, yeah.
The Fat Joe hot sauce came. Hot sauce. You notice mine's already open, so
that's good stuff.
Nice. Yeah.
It is.
I don't eat hot sauce, but I have heard from other people that it's quite good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah, Josh wins. You can stop there, Bob.
Angela, good morning. What's early?
We got lots of good mornings here. I'm just going to blow through them.
I always love it when the West Coast checks in. It's so early.
Hey, Puerto Rico. And he's just saying hi to absolutely everybody.
Absolutely everybody. Nicest person on earth, right?
Yeah.
All right. Conway, thank you so much for rehab. It's a rock star.
It is.
It is. I mean, literally, I think Josh and Keith would both agree if we had to give product of the year, rehab, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down. Yeah.
Bob always says we hate the term game changer because it's used so much, but it's game changer. And I think this was the first product of the week for us where one person on the show didn't mention rehab. since it's come out. So I mean, that's
Yeah.
a run for the year. So
Yeah, totally.
And I-
And speaking of rehab, real quick,
rehab to say.
Speaking of rehab, real quick, because I know we love all those like little coin terms in the industry, but literally, like rehab and stout together is like the ultimate cheat code.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, the way that those two together, when you put them together and did a paint correction and a coating, you almost feel like you're cheating.
Yeah.
I mean, you really do.
Like it should be harder than this, but
Yeah.
it's not. But it should be harder than this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
So a little feedback on the Express Wipe mystery.
Okay, good. All right, so Mike says, okay, I unwound it from the outside. The center was too tight to even grab one without maybe tweezers. I'll switch it up with the dispensing. Yeah, you kind of have to play with it for a second, but you'll find that center one, I promise.
Yeah.
So do that. That is definitely the problem, because when it comes from the outside, like once you got a quarter way into the roll, that might work, but you're going to struggle on the outside. So yes, definitely try grabbing from the center.
Needle
let us
nose
know if
pliers
that
will solve that problem for you.
Yeah.
That's all you need. Needle nose pliers is the answer there.
Yep. All right. SP3 says, good morning from Orange County, California. I put some Clean Maker on my 2022 F-150 to start the holiday week. Amazing.
Nice.
Awesome.
It's a good way to start your week.
It is. Gary Toke, I think I spelled it wrong, but it means hat or stretchy hats that you pull down on your head. Oh, okay.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
He likes our hats.
Cool. Well, you got good hats. You know, what can we say?
Beanies in Canadian. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
How many words can we get for beanie now?
And then we have our next favorite person, Robin Sweet, checking in late to the party. Good morning.
I could, I may have to take a break here at the midway point just to go get my Robin Sweet Detail Lab hat.
Nice.
I don't have one.
Oh, you have the beanie.
I have the
Detail Lab. I don't have one of those.
Well, you have to be a special guest visitor at the right time of year.
Jared says, push Josh on the bottles. He does giveaways. Totally. We do need a bottle with Josh on it. Alex Dewar says, PNS duffel bag hits different. We wouldn't know, Alex.
Yeah.
Only you and Josh know. And Alex, agreeing with SP3, you are correct. Tokes all the way. I learned something new today.
Yeah.
I did too. That is not a word
awesome.
I'm familiar with for what that is. So there you go.
Steve Daly, good morning, everyone. Love rehab, helping the industry up in Reno, Nevada.
Yeah. Awesome. Shout out to Samco, our distributor up there in Reno. Steve, if you haven't checked them out, check out Samco.
Awesome. Conway, haven't used stout. Oh my gosh.
That's almost criminal, dude. You got to use stout.
You got to try it.
Yeah. And now's your chance. You get 25% off through tomorrow. So there you go.
Well, I see a comment coming up saying they're not working on it, or that it's not working. We'll get to that. We'll talk about that when we get there.
I'm texting you now. I'll get on
this.
We know
Chris M says, hello, fellow car washers. Yes.
Fellow car washers. Nice.
Yep.
All right, here we go.
Love it. Okay, Dawn says the code. I love that Dawn went and tried it. That's amazing. So shout out to Dawn for going and trying it. But this is great. The code Stout25 doesn't seem to be working on the 50 ml bottle on the website. So Keith, right now, as we can see, is texting Ian, our website guy, to say, please make sure we activate the code. Maybe he didn't get the message, which is totally cool. We'll get it reactivated. So Dawn, give us 20 minutes. We'll see if we hear back from Ian, but we'll get it reactivated. But I love that you went out and tried it. That's amazing.
Okay. If you don't have Ian, you got to get Ian. We got an Ian. He'll fix it. He's that.
Okay. Robin Sweet says, tell me what products to put together for a simple gift basket. Shopping my shelves for a client. Josh, you're the master at this.
I'm Express, Breakbuster, Dynamic, and Bead Maker.
Wow. Some pearl. Thinking about it. It's like
some pearl. Nice.
That's
very nice. Don't forget the packet of Express wipes.
Oh, yeah.
With your little sticker on it.
Yeah. And with a Fat Joe sticker on it.
Yeah. Jessica Rook, the winner of Josh's first giveaway. Good morning.
Morning, Jess.
Look at that. Jessica's going to get to experience that duffel bag that we hear about.
Yeah. She's joining the exclusive group because it is an exclusive group.
It hits different, we've heard, Jessica. It's different.
Yeah. I have had enough of duffel bags, so it's tough for me to get into a duffel bag. So
Yeah. Travis says, thank you for all making yourselves available to answer questions. I have learned so much, and your advice has helped tremendously. I have fallen in love with P&S products. That is so amazing.
yeah.
That's why we do this, Travis. That's why we do it.
Yeah. We do need questions though, guys. So, if you got questions, dive in here and throw something at us.
Yes. So Todd, good morning. Today, Rehab and Playmaker combo is going to get us a very shiny 27 caddy. That's amazing. And you know what I heard? Somebody told me the other day that I thought was so crazy. They used Rehab with Rupa's Uno Advanced on top.
Well,
and they said it was amazing. Yeah. So Uno Advanced will correct in itself, but I think obviously Rehab does a ton. But then they used Uno Advanced on top, which makes sense. It's kind of like then you're just kind of final polishing and leaving behind protect. I think that sounded amazing too. So very good. Very good.
I just got the one word answer that, again, a man of few words, Mr. Fair Enough said, sure. So
Fair enough.
Fair enough. So
Thank you, Ian.
You should see it. And I love it. The next comment from Mr. Canadian himself.
Yes, Alex. Shout out to Ian, the behind the scenes master. Yes, we love Ian.
Yep.
We love Ian. You got to get an Ian.
Yeah.
You
can get your own.
Jessica says, I've been eyeing that for years. MTE will be a perfect proving ground. Yes. We can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
You sporting it. That's amazing. All right. Todd, yep, that works too. Very good. Good morning, everyone.
Hey, Gary Reith is
on.
Good morning,
yes, Gary.
Good morning.
Yep.
All right, we have a request.
Okay, Don, please get me some Reflect ASAP. I need to know the details when we can get our hands on it. Well, we've been told that it should be available right after the first of the year. So hopefully, I know it's made, I know it's packaged. So look for that. When does P&S open back up, Keith? The 3rd?
The 2nd, I think we start back in, but that's catch up. So yeah.
Okay, watch for it that week. Now this product release, I will give you a heads up, is going to go. It's probably going to be a little bit different just because of the way the holidays fell. Normally our distributors will get it in and on their shelves. So if you normally buy from a distributor, it might be a few more days, but it will be available on our website right away after the first of the year. So fingers crossed on that. I know everybody's dying for it, and I'm dying for you to have it because it's so great. Josh, what do you think of Reflect?
I think it's awesome. I actually put it on when we came out to SEMA. When we drove out, I put it on my van windows and drove through 2 blizzards, and it works.
Yeah, I love it. And I even love it on the inside too. I mean, I'm like the queen of glass, right? But it's still like, to use one of Alex Dewar's words, it just hits different on the interior glass. Like it just, I don't know. It just makes everything look, I can't wait for you guys to get it. It's amazing.
Yeah. Every bottle I've had for a demo has been stolen. So all right.
Too funny. I actually think somebody, like, another shout out to Ian. I think Ian might have snuck me some. So I did get some the other day.
I know.
I think I begged for it on an order or something.
So last week on our distributor kind of Christmas edition show, Bob did show off one of the bottled bottles. So it is packaging and getting ready to go out. And I think it's been available to distributors as of Friday last week. So which means, give them a little time right after the holiday, they should have it. So, yeah.
Todd, gotta get to it. Merry Christmas, folks. Yep. Finish out the year strong, right? I think probably today is a lot of people's last day working, right? I have a car scheduled today, but I'm going to make Delaney do the whole thing.
Yes.
I like that.
All right, Travis, can Swift or Express be used on nav screens? Josh.
I'd use Paint Gloss or Bead Maker, honestly. I mean, I don't think Express is going to hurt anything, but you'll get a better finish with paint gloss or Bead Maker.
Yeah, totally. So I totally while wiping the inside of the car, I definitely wiped across them with both of those products, but then I always come back with a second towel right away. It's never hurt anything. Now, the one thing you do want to be careful about is there's many different materials that nav screens are made out of, right? So if we're talking mid-90s BMW with the textured, I would not get anything near that. Don't get anything near it, but TrueView, right? Sprayed on a towel. But newer ones that are glass and stuff, I mean, you're fine wiping across them. But then, like Josh said, I always go back with either paint gloss or Defender, something like a finishing spray to just make sure that any, marks or white marks are completely gone off the glass, because those are really going to react just like glass, right? So a lot of it has to do with the texture. And if you have those older cars with the textured nav screens, here's a tip is to make sure you take a picture first. I can't tell you how many people I have heard that, all of a sudden it was like that before, but then now it's clean and doesn't have the 2 years worth of dirt built up. And so then the customer says that something happened. Those things are real fussy. So A, don't get near them with any kind of cleaner. And then B, just make sure you add that area real good into your pre-detail photos.
I have heard that the new BMWs, if you put any chemical on those screens, it'll turn them into a black abyss of a screen. So, yeah. And again, I can't confirm that. Anybody who knows for sure if that's happening, let us know. But I have BMW screens don't like anything. I would probably, in that case, might even go with a really plush, dry microfiber towel and call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, I think when we get into having reflect out, that may be an option for the final wipe. But
that's what I use now, obviously. But yes.
Yeah, but you're the only one because you have a drug dealer that gets you that stuff. I say that.
Justin, what would be the best way to clean dirty carpeted wheel wells if you're only doing a rinseless? It's hard to pressure wash them in the winter due to the cold weather. It is, yes. So I totally know what you're talking about because I've had this problem before. If I have a real dirty car, I obviously can't take it out in my front driveway and spray it because I'll turn everything into a skating rink. So I have a keg sprayer. So thinking about what would I do right now? I have a keg sprayer. So I would probably, heavily saturate them with, I would use either Mud Buster or Tempest is one of my favorite degreasers. And so I would soak it down. I would use my fender well brush from Detail Factory. I'd scrub it real good. And then I'd try to rinse it down as well as I could with my keg sprayer. But even then, you're probably not going to get them too dirty. I'm not sure you could use an extractor on those, right? It would probably not go real flat. You'd probably get weird lines.
Well, and I think it'd probably be a lot of dirt for an extractor to work on.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, when I've had situations like that, which has only been I get one a year where somebody doesn't, pre-wash their car, I've driven it down to the pay and spray place myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I really have, just because, and I tell them, I say, hey, I can't handle that here in this location. So just letting you know, I'm going to take your car down where I can spray it safely. And I'll just go and, clean out the fenders there and then come back home and complete the detail. But that is why, just keep in mind too, though, that is why, and I know it's always a big joke that I ask my customers to wash their car ahead of time, but I do let them know. And that is why, I give them a heads up, hey, here, I'm not able to use a pressure washer outside. So if you have heavily soiled undercarriage, either please go rinse it out yourself or go through the car wash, so that I can make sure I get your car fully clean. And I've never had anybody get upset about that. They totally get it.
Yep. Yeah. And if they get the undercarriage washed, so much the better.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do the kind of the rinseless with the keg sprayer type thing, remember, do that first, then clean your wheels and tires because it'll.
Yeah.
Well, guess who is in the lower 48? She's
Nicole. Look at you. Good morning from Fort Collins. We're in a different time zone, so we're up in time. Look at you.
Yeah.
On the
'Cause they're
mountain
even
time.
further behind us. I mean, I think they got to get up at 4
Yeah.
to catch the
Yeah.
show. So,
Thanks for joining us, Nicole.
yeah, taking her little vacation to join us. Thank you.
And since you're here, Nicole, Keith is working on those PPF dates. He's working on it.
We are. Yes, we are. My Christmas present to you, I hope, will be that
It's going to be a link. She just wants a link.
year when we reopen for January 2nd, Ian will have the links embedded on our site. So that's my goal.
Yes. Okay, SP3. Can I use Breakbuster diluted? I wash the wife's Lexus every weekend. Josh.
You can. We use it straight up just because it's great and it's not that expensive. And I mean, diluting it's going to kind of cut it down a little bit. If you're going to use it like in a foamer, absolutely you can dilute it. But spraying it from a bottle, I don't know that I would dilute it that much.
Yeah. Same. I agree. It's one of those things where it's not meant to be diluted.
Yeah.
So you can absolutely do it. We don't recommend it. You can do it, and if it works, great. But if it doesn't, don't get mad at the Breakbuster.
Not our fault.
Yeah. If you're looking to extend your product, that's what I would do. Is I would get yourself an IK foamer, because in that you dilute it 4-1 or 5-1, whichever you like. And so that way you can make your product go further if that's what you're looking for. But for me, I just like Breakbuster straight up.
Yeah. And the reason for that, a lot of people ask me this, well, what's the difference? I mean, you're diluting it down. It should be less effective. Yes, but in the foamer, the foam hangs on the tire. And so you get what the benefit is, the dwell time, right? So because it's a thicker material, it hangs on the tire and it allows it to work longer on the tire as opposed to just spraying ready to use on there out of a spray bottle. So that's why it's effective when it's diluted down, not because it magically changes form once it gets foamed. It's just it's allowed to hang on the tire real more.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Get asked that a lot, so I just thought I'd throw the answer out there.
Yes, this is a good one. Wolf says, any advice on storing products in cold climates?
Don't let them freeze.
Take them out.
Yeah. So if you truly have your products in an area that, can truly freeze. So I know a lot of people, like, does your garage or wherever you're storing them actually get below freezing? I know a lot of people's garages are not insulated, not heated, but they still never really fall to below 32 degrees, right? So that would be my first question. But then if that happens, then I highly recommend trying to bring them indoors. So whatever that means, especially if it's like this week where, we may not be using them, or it may be, an entire week or something before we use them, try to bring them inside. The other thing that you could, depending on how many products you have, I've seen people too use the Yeti coolers. And, they might have a big one for camping or something, and they'll store some things in there because the cold can't really get through that Yeti cooler. So you just kind of have to be creative, but just don't let them freeze. So most products are capable of handling like 1 or 2 freeze thaw cycles. And honestly, that usually gets taken up by UPS. So their time is usually maxed out by the time it gets to you. So just try to not let them freeze. But if it's just generally cold and the product's not actually freezing, you should be fine.
And in the Yeti cooler, they have those heat and cold packs. Pack, heat it up, and then throw it in the Yeti cooler, and you got a warm space.
Right.
Couple of things to look for if your product does freeze. Okay, so if it's a dressing and it looks separated and you've got kind of a clear and a milky section, the dressing is no longer viable. So you shake it up, but it's probably not going to be viable. Acids, when they freeze, do not recover. So that's just a general rule of thumb. But the only one we really recommend you guys use regularly is Crystal Wash. On most other products, if they separate, that they'll probably have gone bad. Sid said, if you get a freeze thaw cycle out of them, they can survive probably one. Compounds and polishes are your tough one. And that's because you can't see inside the bottle because our bottles are black. So, you'll just have to test viability at that point. But as a general rule of thumb, don't let them freeze. If you've got your vehicle and you can unload your spray bottles, and maybe you mobile guys, the thing to do is not have your gallon with you, is put your quart in your car, truck, whatever it is. Go out and do your job, bring your quart bottles back in the garage or shop, and refill them, and then take them out in the morning and go. You should be fine in a freezing environment during the day if you've had them, in warm environment all night.
Right.
So that would kind of be my advice is, unfortunately, you're going to be doing the bottle shuffle there to get them in and out of the warm weather. So,
yeah. Yep. All right, Alex, if you have a winter Steely and winter tires, dynamic sprayed on it when they're still wet and left to sit makes them glossier than ever, but not tacky. Highly recommended for the snowy climates.
And if you know what that means, you're ahead of the game, because a lot of folks, our southern folks probably don't know what winter Steelies are. So.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. All right, Alan, Josh is looking awfully festive. Merry Christmas, everyone.
That's how
I love the hat. Do you wear your hat at home on Christmas Day?
No.
Oh, man, you should. Oh, my gosh, look at that. Dawn coming in. Just ordered more stout. Ian fixed the code, and it works.
Oh, Ian.
I kind of love this instant feedback thing.
I know. Great. I love it. Thanks, Dawn. We're glad that it worked. That was awesome.
And thanks, Ian, for knocking it out at 7:30 in the morning. That's cool.
Yes. So everybody can go order it now because Dawn got us to fix the code. That's amazing. Okay, SP3 says, thinking of getting stout for the F-150. Should I get a 50 or can I do the glass and windows with it? Okay, so two things. Don't put it on the glass. You're not going to love it. Yeah. It's going to smear all around, and if you leave a high spot, you'll regret it. And yes, you should get the 50 mil because it's on 25% off right now. And so then you'll get to use it on 2 cars, not 1. And so way better value. So yes, grab a 50 mil before, well, what'd we say? Through Christmas?
Yeah.
Yep. So it's on sale right now. So SP3, if you missed it, code STOUT25 on the PNS website will get you 25% off of the 50 mil only. So yes, absolutely. Just don't put it on the glass.
Yeah. And you get an F-150. You're gonna want the 50 mil bottle.
Yep.
Right. Well, and it is still going to do 2 cars for you, but also you're going to love it on the plastic, like the plastic bed caps of the F-150. You're going to love it. What do you call that? The cowling up front?
Yes.
Below the windshield. Yeah. Put it on that. You're going to love it. Yep. Yeah. Steve says, I used rehab on single stage paint recently. Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, yes.
There's a lot of period in that sentence. That's cool.
Yes. Amen. Yes. I love working on single stage paint with rehab.
By the way, Steve, I love your logo. That's awesome.
Yes. That looks nice. SP3. Also, how long does Bead Maker last? And should I use it as a drying aid once a month? Yeah, I do. So Bead Maker for me, I always feel like my answer is different than what everybody else says. I've seen Bead Maker last 6 months, but I only do it during the wash clay seal. I put it on wet. I feel like it lasts a long time. On my personal car, I use it as a drying aid once a month, once a week. I use it as a drying aid all the time on my own car. So I never see Bead Maker break down on my personal vehicle. But I think, what would you say, Josh? Don't you think it's fair to say it's going to last anywhere from 1 to 5 months, depending on how you put it on?
We do a lot of wholesale work for dealerships, and we do all their new cars. We put Bead Maker on every new car that we do, and then it goes and sits on the lot. They'll sell it 30, 40 days later. It's still there. I mean, it sits out in the elements all the time. So And I'm an Iowa with crappy weather all the time. So
so absolutely, you can use it as a drying aid every time you wash your car. Honestly, yep. No issue there. Alex, if I can't pressure wash carpet liners, I try to dry brush them. Oh, that's a good idea. With a fender brush first. And then the keg is a good option. That actually makes sense. Like dry brush that off as much as you can, because then you're not turning it to mud. Good point.
And I should have thought about that because we always talk about that with cleaning carpet, right? Dry is the first thing you want to do. Speaking of which, Steve has a great comment on that.
Great point. Oh my gosh, these people are so much smarter than myself. Steve says sometime hitting the wheel wells with a Tornador first works. Sometimes, not always. And they're smarter than me, but you know why? It's because I tell my customers to wash their car first. So I don't actually have to deal with this.
That's the smartest of all, though.
That's awesome. I love the Tornador. I've never thought of using a Tornador. That's amazing.
Yeah, just blowout gun. That'd be ideal. And actually, that's one place where I might use a diluted liquid in the under.
Oh, like I mean,
So I
Yeah.
would do the dry and then the wet version of that. That actually is
Man, I'm going to try that on my own car. I
that's a
have one of those. I
useful
haven't opened
photo.
it yet.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
put some Tempest in there and go to that. Sounds so great. Can I use Bead Maker on your iPhone screen?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Recommended.
Although
Mhm.
I will say I have gone now to Defender on all my screens.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
kind of
Well,
waiting for Reflect to come
and I
out.
use Reflect, but it's fine.
Stop it! Nobody else has Reflect.
I've got some.
Well, Keith, quit giving yours away. Jessica says, yep, it is true. Specifically, it's the anti-glare top layer of the screen. Touched it with the tiniest bit of glass cleaner and now polishing down to replacing the anti-glare cover. Cleaned so many BMW screens and never had this issue. So I think she's referring to the brand new BMWs. Yeah.
Right, turning the
So I
screen black.
had one the other day, but honestly, I didn't really go across it with anything. Like I think I had a reflect towel that had reflect, and I just kind of brushed across it, so I didn't notice it. But that's great insight on that because I did not know that.
Yeah, I heard it from our dealer friends down in.
So it's the anti-glare coating that they put on there, huh?
Mhm. Yeah, and her final words are until a couple weeks ago. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, interesting. Very cool.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Wolf says, I only wash clean cars too, and the only car I wash is mine. There you go.
Makes your life a
Smartest
lot
person in the
easier.
room. Smartest person in the room. Okay, Big Daddy Candy Nut says, y'all need something to talk about. Let's talk about how Jamie and Eddie. Oh, well, that's not very nice. Stab Joey and Dewar. We'll skip over that one. We don't need to talk about that. It's the holidays.
Yeah.
Steve Pearson says, Alex Dewar, I really have to get a keg sprayer. Yes, you do. They're amazing. Shout out to Scott.
Yeah,
right?
hit Scott up, man. Those things are awesome.
They're
And you can even
great.
kill a weed with them.
They're great. All right. Older Greg says, any tips on undercarriage washing? I use wide open in the Canon and rinse. Still leaves it pretty dirty. Wondering if there's something I should include or maybe another product to get it cleaner. Yes.
Mudbuster.
Yeah.
Mudbuster.
Yeah. So wide open is a car soap. So it is not meant to break down that much dirt that's in the undercarriage. So you want to pre-spray with Mudbuster or Tempest or EnviroClean. You want something that's going to get in there and really start to break the stuff away. I've used Crystal Wash on undercarriages as well, but if they're muddy, you need to go with like a Mudbuster or a Tempest or something like that. And so I will spray the undercarriage, and then I use one of those pressure washer attachments that sprays up. So I use that to get them really nice and clean. But any car wash soap, you can absolutely foam after you've done the undercarriage wash, but usually soap alone is going to leave it almost like a dried, muddy mess. So you definitely need a degreaser or a heavy APC to do that.
And you're on the right track. I mean, both products that we're talking about here, both Mudbuster and what you're using now, wide open, or have rusted filters in them. So, I mean, good choice in that direction. But I would go to Mudbuster first.
I would too.
And go that way. If you have a pressure washer that you can inject chemical into, Mudbuster and a pressure washer like that will probably do some fantastic.
Yeah, and you could actually, now that I think about it, if you want to use your foam cannon, you can put Mudbuster in your foam cannon, and you know how you can adjust it to be like real liquidy or real foamy? Put it on that real liquidy and just shoot that stuff everywhere. That'll be great.
Yep.
Yeah. Sarah, can you use reflection on top of inspiration, kind of like a topper? Is that too much? I can't wait for Reflect to come out. So I'm thinking she means reflection from the Babes line, which is the topper for the Babes ceramic. So absolutely you could, if that's what you have, you can absolutely use that. And then I'm glad you can't wait for Reflect to come out. It's great. I love both of those products.
So for those who don't know, Reflection is part of our Babes Boat Care line. And as of the first part of this year, that's been incorporated into the PNS website. So you can buy Babes Boat Care products on the PNS website. So, for those who don't know and are wondering what's this reflection stuff, check it out. What is reflection, Sid? You have the best definition. You use it more than most of us. So.
So reflection is an SiO2 based, topper for gel coat. It can obviously be used on cars or whatever else you want to use it on. It smells great, but it's just going to add that longer term protection. So in the Babes line, we had Boat Bright, which was kind of like a spray wax,
Yeah.
protector, kind of short-term protection. And so Reflection came out, and it's just a longer-term, true SiO2 based topper, or it's also a standalone, so it can be used on top of Babes. We have 2 ceramic coatings in the Babes line. We have a consumer and then a professional grade. And so we kind of came out with it to be a topper for those, but it's great. I use it on cars all the time. And mainly just because I love the way it smells and it works great. All right. So John Medill says 3 pH system is acid, alkaline, and then neutral wash. Can I use Frostbite and then crystal wash and then pearl?
I would do crystal wash, then
I would, yes,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say too. Crystal wash always needs to go on dry, and it goes on first.
Yep.
So I would switch that a little bit, do crystal wash, Frostbite, and then pearl if you would like.
Yeah, although I will say, once you get the balance with Frostbite on the crystal wash, you really don't need another wash soap. You can just and look, Frostbite's got all the lubricity on the planet.
Mhm.
You can go straight there, so you can cut a step there. And
Unless you do a bucket wash, I know that's like the new thing now, is to foam with one and put something else in your bucket. Put the pearl in your bucket.
Yeah,
You could do that.
Right, if you like using a lot of soap, we sell you a lot of soap. So
Yeah, we have a lot. We have a lot of soaps to sell you.
But the other thing is if you are trying to coat the car, we like a low pH car. So sometimes we will skip the neutralization step on the crystal wash and just go straight to washing the car with a pH neutral soap. So it depends on what you're trying to do there. If you're just doing a maintenance wash, the 3 pH is fine. If you're trying to coat it, I would omit the neutralizing step.
For sure. All right. Alex says, at Wolf, if you're cold, they're cold. Bring them inside.
Your pets and detailing chemicals.
Yes.
Right. Your fat Joes need a place to sleep. So
yes. Chris, this is a great question.
Yeah.
Shelf life of an open bottle of stout. This is such a great question because it's different than our previous coatings, right?
Mhm.
So this is why specifically we came out with the 30 and the 50, is that shelf life is about 2 to 3 weeks once it's been open. Once that oxygen gets inside the bottle, it does definitely start a timer. So 2 to 3 weeks. So the 30 mil you're going to want to use if you're doing one car. And if you know that you have another car to coat within the next 2 weeks, you can go ahead and use a 50. But even for me, I typically use 50s, but like this week, like I had to look through my schedule and go, okay, where's my last car? And then I go, okay, the 30's going on that one, because then I'm not going to do another car for 2 weeks. And so just keep that in mind. If you're doing one car 30 mil, 2 cars 50 mil, if you want to try to extend that, like let's say because of the sale, you want to buy a 50, but you might not coat a car for a couple weeks, try to stick it somewhere cold. And I know we just said don't start your chemicals in cold, but this one you want to. If you want to try to get 4 or 5 weeks out of it, try to stick it somewhere cold, maybe in the front door of a refrigerator, not the back, because it's too cold towards the back. But if you have a door, you can stick it in the door. The colder it is, not frozen, the colder it might help it last a little bit longer. But yeah, typically it's going to be like 2 to 3 weeks.
And out of UV light, once you start getting
air
and you got
put it
UV
somewhere
light,
dark.
and the bottles are clear for those, so you want to take that product and throw it in the fridge, mostly because it's in the dark and it's cool. So that's why you do it. So
like if you have a garage fridge that rarely gets open, that's great. If your garage is cold, stick it in the back of a cabinet.
All right, here's a new one for you.
Chris, I think it's good practice to store all the gallons and largers inside year round. Then you're only risking the 16 and 32 ounce at a time. Great point. That is such a good point, because even in heat, right, we're going to have the same thing: extreme cold, extreme heat, and also just the different temperatures. The changing of the temperatures is not real stable. So the more consistent you can keep them, the better. So for those like in California, it may not be a big deal. For me, it's not a big deal. My garage is insulated and heated. It stays the same temperature all year round. So just always do the best you can to keep them consistent. And I love the idea of gallons being inside if you have a non-temperature control. That's a great idea. Great advice. Wolf says, at Alex, that is great advice. I'm going to put them in a spare cooler. Yes, that helps for sure, right? I mean, it blocks a lot of cold out.
And you don't have to have a fancy cooler. You can use one of the styrofoam ones.
Yeah, totally.
Will-
Styrofoam or just, yeah. I mean, any old, those big camping coolers, you can fit quite a bit in there.
Yeah.
SP3, my headlights are PPF coated. Should I apply Lucid or just use Stout? Use whatever you have open, honestly. I like Stout, but if you want to put a coating over them, just use whatever coating you have open.
Yeah.
The PPF's going to do most of your protection on that front anyway.
Right. Now, Josh, have you had any experience when not on a PPF coated lens, but on a bare lens with any lens issues if you coat those?
Nope, I haven't had any issues at all.
I haven't either.
Because I hear from people all the time, oh, it caused my lens to micro fracture crack and all that. And I don't know that that's true. I think that's more of a lens defect than it is coating on.
Yeah, there's some Porsches and then F-150s, as you know, Keith. There is some that definitely have those micro fractures that I've seen. Usually they're coming from either the washing or the polishing step, and it's actually a known defect failure in the lens itself. But it's not usually caused by the coating.
And Santa came early for my truck this year because a certain set of headlights showed up from Iowa that
nice.
I got to get in the shop and get switched out. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. When are we wrapping the truck?
Ooh.
Into the vintage F-150.
I got to tell you that the household manager is not really for it. So
did you show her the right pictures?
I did, but I'm just not winning the battle here. So I may need some help.
All right. Well, then we're going chameleon.
We need to run an influence operation on this one. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
For those who don't know what I'm talking about, we'll have to post a picture in the lounge.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll take a vote on the Bead Maker Lounge. So what was the SP3 said, what is the Stout code? The code is Stout 25. Now that stands for 25% off, and it also stands because Stout is going to rock it in 2025.
Yeah, it's just getting warmed up. I mean, literally, it's just warm. So
yep.
Yep. Here we go. Look at that. Somebody already chimed in and gave the I love it.
Aaron, I mix Absolute 128 to 1 and keep it in a spray bottle in my work truck for light cleanups. I add a little bit of the eucalyptus scent for the scent. Will the scent dry out the plastic? No, you're fine adding scent, but that's very interesting. That's interesting.
Well,
adding coconut and eucalyptus
than we're used to, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes me want to add more of the coconut scent to mine.
Ooh.
Like more of the Absolute scent. But great idea. I keep Absolute in my vehicles as well for any, bird droppings, what have you. Delaney parked in the sprinklers one time and she sprayed it down with Absolute and wiped it off and it was totally fine. So we were very thankful for that. A good idea. Alex Dewar says, I'd have a mask respirator for blowing carpet liners. Good point. It probably goes everywhere.
Yeah, that's probably some pretty brutal stuff that's underneath there too. So
yeah, Josh might know the answer to this. MP says, what can I put on my Tesla screen to prevent smudges?
I don't think you'll ever prevent smudges.
Right. Yeah.
You can put Bead Maker on it or Defender and it'll help, minimize smudging, but you'll never prevent it. It's like
can you PPF those? Does PPF help at all?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yep. Some of the older ones we've done before and it holds pretty good.
Okay.
That's interesting. Never thought of
well, they're so big. But yeah, my brother has 2 Teslas. And yeah, every time I get in, it looks like his 6-year-old has had her way with the screen, but it's actually him. So that I can see how that would be annoying.
Have a bottle of paint gloss in your cup holder.
Yep. All right, Stephen Pearson says, I was never smart enough to tell clients to hit the car wash before coming over. The smartness goes both ways. Oscar says, does Absolute have a shelf life? So I'm assuming we're talking about like in its pure form, right? So pure form, after you've opened the bottle, I mean, most of our products are about the same, right? Keith, what do we say, like a year, 12 months
most
after you open them?
Products have a year, I would say.
And it's really going to vary product to product and how you're storing it. And it's kind of like the whole, how long does a coating last? It really just depends. There's so many different factors.
Yep.
If it's mixed up though, I will tell you this, if it's mixed up, because I had a bottle, I think it was an IK sprayer that had probably mixed like 6 months ago. And when I opened it, I couldn't smell the absolute at all anymore. So just like with regular soaps, once it's been diluted, maybe a month, 30 or 60 days. So if you're using absolute in a spray bottle, I would change that every 60 days. I mean, because we're talking a couple drops of absolute, right? But otherwise on the shelf, I'm not sure because I go through about a gallon every 2 months. Mine doesn't hang around very long.
She's a high volume user, folks.
I am very. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, if you've got a product that you're just not using a lot of, once it's been mixed, at that point it's pretty affordable to be able to just get rid of the remainder of a bottle. If you got half a bottle of, quart bottle of product that's been sitting for a year, and it's dilutable product, just make some fresh stuff. I mean, for the 50 cents that you're throwing away, you're probably going to get a lot better result in a lot faster time, and that's actually the efficiency win there anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. So Amber, this is a good question. What about the shelf life of stout unopened? My car's coating is going strong right now, but I would love to eventually replace it with stout.
So you shouldn't have a problem with stout. Again, this goes back to the shelf life of concentrate product or unopened bottles. I still say it's best practice to use any product that you buy within 12 months to 18 months tops.
Yeah.
On coatings, this one should have the inert gas that's put in when it's bottled and unopened. But still, again, are you putting it on the shelf in the sun? That kind of stuff. All those questions are.
Yeah, and I think my recommendation here is just don't open the box, right?
Yeah.
Because it's snugly packed in there in complete darkness.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing with coatings is that UV. And so if you just leave it in the box, don't open it to look at it or anything like that. I think that's the key there. If you're not planning on using it right away, leave it in the box because it's perfectly dark and black inside that box. Mm-hmm. And you're going to get, it's going to be great. So yeah.
Now, I know
a year and a half, 2 is probably fine.
And Sid, you're like this. I mean, you kind of buy coating projected on a 1 or 2 month kind of idea of what you're going to use.
Yeah.
So that there's a whole larger conversation about forecasting your needs and usage rates, and we all change. But I would hope that you don't keep a product sitting on a shelf for a year, hoping that you'll find a customer and come along to use it. That you're kind of expecting that you have those customers scheduled, especially with the coating.
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Dawn, what products that are not as known do you recommend? I have heard Full Send works well. Josh, you like to go through the basement like I do.
Yep. Well, I love spray. Spray it spun for me. That's kind of what I use for a drying aid on my older vehicles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Love the smell of it. Easy to use.
Yep. You know what's a great use for that is if the guys are out doing lot washes, basically rinsing them down, and a spray with that and a wipe and as drying aid is a pretty good thing with a liquidator.
I
still say we use Dressed in Colorado, and I got to tell you, the reaction I get when people use Dressed, that they just don't know how great it is. And for that matter, so is Undressed. I mean, if you're really not kind of just a fungy tire, Undressed is pretty awesome product.
Yeah, it really is. It looks really great. So Full Send, probably my favorite product. I know I've told the story before, but this July I packed up my shop, thought I was only going to be out of service for 2 days, ended up 3 weeks. What was the products I ran out of first? It was kind of a cool little science experiment, right? Like, what did I use the most? And it was actually Full Send. So I ran out of Full Send first, and then I ran out of it again. So I use a lot of Full Send. I love it. Love it. Love it.
That's your tire dressing, right, Sid?
Yeah. I do the fender wells, the plastics, the running boards, the tires. I do everything. Black matte coated wheels.
Yeah.
Just spray it. Yep. Love it. I go through, that tells you why I go through so much Full Send, because I basically coat the whole car in it. Not really. It's what?
It smells great.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes you want to go get ice cream every time you use it. So.
Yes. I do love Full Send. Love Full Send. The other one that I want to give a shout out to that we never talk about is the tree sap remover.
Yeah.
I love the tree sap remover. It's so good.
I got a little problem with tree sap around here. So yeah, it's a rescue tool for me for sure. So
Yes. Where's the code date on stout? So I know when it has reached 12 to 18 months. So I will tell you it's bottled pretty much freshly. So by the time, wouldn't you say, Keith, by the time somebody would get it, it will have been bottled safely to say within the last 3 months. But I don't know if they're
yeah.
putting date codes on them.
So I will tell you that there's a batch of 30 mils being produced right now. That so Dave is mixing stuff up here probably right after the first of the year. So literally, if you buy a 30 mil starting in the first 2 weeks of January, it's probably not even 25, 30 days old.
Yeah, and as quick as the inventory is turning over.
Yeah.
But most products, again, we're the same way as you guys, right? It's what's our life cycle of how often do we turn over product, and on-hand inventory is it's always questionable how fast things move, but I would say probably 90 days old is probably what you should expect it to be when you buy it.
Just add 90 days to when you got it, and that's like a really fair assessment. And when we say 12 months, we're being very conservative on that. If you have it on your shelf for 18 months and it was made 6 months before that, I mean, it's most likely fine. We're just being very conservative on just to make sure that it's nice and fresh. But I would just, whenever you get it, I would just assume add 3 months to that. But we will check and see if they're doing date codes. I just don't know that they are, because I think it's always been hard to put them on the glass bottles.
Yeah, they're so tiny when they label through.
Yeah.
You guys know the labeler goes through, and then the bottle goes through a stamper, and it's a different labeler than our production labeler. So that's why they don't get a date stamp like the normal quarts and pints do.
Yeah.
All right, here's a good one for you.
Very cool. Amber, keeping it in the box is a great idea. It tends to be what I do anyway. Perfect. Yep, just leave it all snugly in there in its little cage inside that box. It'll be great.
Yeah.
I really love the two fat Joes sitting there staring at me. It's so great. Quality Car Care says happy holidays. But Keith always has like that lean on, right?
Well, it's because he's squished in a suitcase.
Squished in his carry on a lot. Yep.
I mean, he literally needs to eat a little and plump back up for the holidays. So that's our last comment for the day, folks. And we're
very cool.
5 or 8:45 or 9:45, depending on where you are. Hey, it's been a great year. Lots of changes in the last year for Team PNS, but we're still Team PNS, and we're going to continue to do what we do. We're excited about the year to come. I'm excited because Josh is going to do more stuff with us this year on the road, so that's going to be really cool. And I guess the next time people see us is when? Josh, where are we going to see you next?
I'll be in Algona, Iowa on the 11th of January doing a paint correction clinic.
All right,
Fast lane.
Very cool.
Oh, yeah, fast lane. Great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. And for those still watching, and Amber did have one more question that I would love to address, but so Amber, just asking not to give away too much from your upcoming video, but it's something that should be 2 layers, or could it be 2 layers? Is there an advantage? Don't do 2 layers. You only want 1. The more that you put 2 layers, the coating becomes brittle.
Yep.
And it can crack. So you only need one layer. I mean, that's how we wanted it. We wanted a really stout, no pun intended, coating that only needed 1 layer. So that's what we were trying to make it easier on you. So just 1 layer. The second layer would probably cause the first layer to crack. So in January, we have our PNS University in Hayward, and I'm going to be doing the trainings in January. Keith and I will both be there. So we have a special guest training on Monday, and then Tuesday is the all-in. So this is January 13th, 14th, 15th. So the 14th is an all-in. The 15th is a stout training. So if you would like to come to the Bay Area and become certified on stout, feel free to sign up for that. I believe it's already on our website under the training tab. So that is in just a couple weeks here, which is so crazy. So that's going to be super fun. And it's just great to see PNS, right? So anybody that needs a last minute Christmas gift, have somebody get you an Alaska plane ticket to Hayward. and we'll be good to go. So, real last quick question, Carl. What product do you recommend for water spot remover or coating regenerator? Josh.
Water spot remover.
Yep. Water spot remover for the water spots for sure. Totally fine to use that on a coating, and then coating regenerator, Crystal Wash.
Yeah.
Crystal Wash will definitely do a good job cleaning out that coating. So,
Yep.
All right. Anything else? We have got Christmas is in 2 days.
Yeah.
Everybody's ready. I'm so excited.
And then just so everybody knows, Team PNS is closed from the
yeah.
Christmas Eve afternoon
Yeah.
all the way through the 1st. So we'll be back open for operations on the 2nd. So I can tell you that our team is fully prepared, well caffeinated, ready to go for today. So if you got an order and you get it in today, your last best hope for that you didn't plan or you're shopping like me is to get it in today. So
Stout 25, right?
Yep.
You want your
Although if
bottle
you
of
get
Stout.
the order in on Christmas Eve, you will get the discount on Stout 25. So.
Yes. It just won't be shipped till after the 1st. So yes, if you want it shipped,
hand them a confirmation email, and that's what you're getting.
Yeah, if you want something to do next week, get your order in today. You'll have a coating to try out next week. It'll be great. It'll be great.
So, with that, have
a
great Christmas, a happy New Year to everybody. What day are we back, Sid?
I think it's the 6th of January. Let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I want to say that, yes, the 6th of January. We will be back. It'll be great. New year.
New year, not new me. We're just going to be us. Do what we do.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Have a very Merry Christmas, and we will see you next year.
Merry Christmas, everybody.